Growing up with no brothers, I had Nintendo. We was different from one another like Mac and Windows. I sat pen and pad, my frame lacked the windows. My feet had New Balance, but I dressed black with Timbos. People said he's acting out, but honestly I wasn't. I just found my own style and like dropping beats and cussing. But cousin, I done brought the worst out in people. To me, my headphones were like a burst out the needle H-bombing. But I just like to nerd out with people over good tunes, good brews. So tell me what's the good news? It's Young K.I., Mr. Tell the Truth a lot. Even if it's stupid, watch the mind shake, maneuver blocks. I'm the driving spirit moving through a moving ox. Push without opinions on my mind. I was new to thoughts different from mine, I find. But listening was my design. I minored in chameleonship, no school of hard knocks. Never change for somebody, remain true. The pain's too much. You're too beautiful to be someone that ain't you. And that's just some advice, like looking back at life with that 20/20 hindsight. Free your mind's unchained design. Skate through the world, there's no one way to grind. Put your head up, even if you're fed up with all of it. Take all of that pain and unbottle it and sing. Heaven chase the rain away. Heaven chase the rain away. But you don't have to change, I say. Looking back, I wouldn't change a day. Growing up with no brothers, I had the PS2. Dreamcast, it broke, but my dreams casted hope. I never had a sibling fight up in the night. They viewed sun different, cast me in a different light. But sunset on grind until the sunset. I confess, I like being alone. Introverted when they come test. Yo, remember that one time her face lit with brightness when she saw sunshine? Still super. Boss fights with King Cooper, and cats start with darkness, feel the claws of Queen Luna. Artemis with harder fists, the frame that's hard to miss. I blacked out for years, that's sure to leave the farmers pissed. I thought you got way too much heart for this. Step behind the stand and watch the entire market flip. Face breakers still tick like pacemakers in a pool dark as night. When a cool warriors fight, then there's me. And good God, then there's me. Then there's me. Good God, then there's me. Free your mind's unchained design. Skate through the world, there's no one way to grind. Put your head up, even if you're fed up with all of it. Take all of that pain and unbottle it and sing. Heaven chase the rain away. Heaven chase the rain away. But you don't have to change, I say. Looking back, I wouldn't change a day.
Yeah, you wanna be big, you wanna grow big.
Backwoods packages littered tabletops. Gone off that shit, my eyes lower than your stable stock. I get stoned and I'm dope, I made a rock. You feeling stagnant when that bow tips, I made it rock. I used to play Sega Saturn and shit, and now I smoke a lot of weed and it ain't mattered a bit. Blood splatter on the back of the whip. I backed up with the strength of the piston of Mack trucks. You ever seen a grown man crumple into a puddle? Man, I ain't have a move left. I couldn't do nothing but struggle. I need some shit to keep my mind on the PowerPoints. I took the path that I could find and devoured joints. Motherfuckers been asking for this one. I never had since I had the passion to get some. And then I saw her, she skates slow. But fuck it, I even the pace, so and I've never been as happy as right now. But shit, I gotta cope with the fact that it dies down. Cause in the end I just wake up salty. Start my day with a pot of black coffee. And I've never been as happy as right now. But shit, I gotta cope with the fact that it dies down. Cause in the end I just wake up salty. Start my day with a pot of black coffee.
Zigzag in my pocket, I left the studio. Police chase while and I'm sipping that pink chalice. Zigzag in my pocket, I left the studio. Police chase wildin'.
What's going on? What's going on? I'm really scared.
What's going on? What's going on? You're really scared.
SOS, SOS, please handle me with care.
SOS, SOS, please handle you with care.
Now.
Never been one for the talking. Anxiety ridden, I hide in the rhythm. I'm ficus burning bush. I turned to Christ and burnt the book. It turned to ice. I learned to cook it, work at night. I turned it, booked it. But bitch, I ain't been tripping. Technology squared, my angle's missing. Open-ended, where to go, I hope it's different soon. I'm sick of job interviews and looking for a different dude. Life's a bitch, I heard she's sleeping in the nude. White lies dancing, trying to creep into the truth. California Kush, my people stay sedated. I party y'all weed to keep my evil satiated.
Now back to business. You wanna grow big, right?
Now back to business. I wanna grow big, right?
Let's not waste no time. Here we go, alright?
Let's not waste no time. Here we go, alright?
Now.
And I've never been as happy as right now. But shit, I gotta cope with the fact that it dies down. Cause in the end I'll just wake up salty. Start my day with a pot of black coffee. And I've never been as happy as right now. But shit, I gotta cope with the fact that it dies down. Cause in the end I just wake up salty. Start my day with a pot of black coffee.
Zigzag in my pocket, I left the studio. Police chase wild and I'm sipping that pink chalice. Zigzag in my pocket, I left the studio. Police chase wildin'.
Hello. We are now live. And welcome to our first ever Automotive Safari. Because today is quite the special occasion. This is the inaugural kickoff of a stream series I intend to do now. I mentioned this yesterday as the impromptu Face Connect stream went off. I was planning to have the stream for today. And we got a little bit into it last night with just some domestic car crashes. But it is time for us to delve into the world of the world's car cultures. Now, I'm a man who is a connoisseur of the world's automotive endeavors. Every part of the world has a certain car culture, meme, joke, stereotype about them. Each nation, supposedly, if you look deep enough, each even regional locales of larger locations. And tonight, we are going to go around the world in 80 ways to Sunday to figure out which nation has the best and worst drivers and the best and worst car culture. We're going to be watching crashes. We're going to be watching car scene meetups. And we are going to be watching races, street races, and city races. Hello H250. No, unfortunately, I am not going to nuke the screen by watching cars. We can watch Lightning McGroomer as a palate cleanser between videos, but we are not going to be watching cars tonight. It is a most monumentous occasion because we are going to be testing the limits on which Twitch, Kick, and YouTube will allow me to stream content, because we will be going to the far-off land of China, west side Taiwan, and we are going to be observing their beautiful culture of auto racing and of automotive crashes, and all the fine things in between. We are going to drift off to the wild lands of Saudi Arabia and observe and start with a legend of the Saudi drift scene. That's right, your favorite marsupial, Hitler Crash Bandicoot Drift. And he will be our inaugural guide to the wild world of Saudi Arabia drifting. We are going to go to the far-flung region of Nippon to observe the Kanjozuku, the all civic team racing of the Kanjo Loop. I'll leave my confession for the end, but if you see my early comment tall server, then you know. I'm not gonna say anything on stream, but I'm just gonna look it up. I'm sorry, man, if something happened. I'm terribly sorry. Hello, Derek. How are you? There's an area in Crash Bandicoot? Yes, there is. I don't know what you are on the tall server, but I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm sanguine. Okay. Hello, Derek. That's good to hear. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine. H250, whatever happened, I haven't seen it. I hope you're doing okay, okay? And don't dox yourself, alright? Don't do anything that could dox yourself. I'm not... This is different from the tall server. Just keep it to your... If it's something really, really personal, I hope you're okay. I'll say Butterface. Are you fucking a fat chick? My brother in Christ... H250, you don't need to say that, but... Are you fucking a fat chick? No worries, nothing personal. Oh boy. Oh shit, 3 Doors Down drummer died? Fuck. Or lead singer of 3 Doors Down, that sucks. No, I'm not that lucky either. Oh boy. Okay, well, whatever it is, I hope you're doing well, alright? We shall start the stream, okay? So, I'm not sure who else will come in. I hope more people will come in from Kick, and also, hopefully Wi-Fi doesn't butt out on me tonight, because we got Twitch up and running again. That's right, we are streaming 3 ways of platform. I got everything fixed up again. We are now running on full steam, it appears. And to celebrate this, I believe I shall give a test. You seen Iron Lung yet? No, I haven't. But to see how we're doing, I'm gonna fire some preview tests through the system just to show that we are live on Twitch. So if you guys hear any sounds, you will be hearing this through Twitch. You ready?
Cool vibrations. Cool vibrations.
Hang on, I didn't hear that on my end.
Cool vibrations.
Perfect. We got Shingo Shoji's theme song, and we got Ongazeleg. It's a bit buggy, but it's more stable than yesterday. We will keep an eye out. It's because I'm running on Twitch right now, so the moment I exile the site, I should be my bandwidth should come back down. And if we hear any raids, which I doubt we will, you will hear this. That is our raid sound effect. Yep. So, if we get any raids in from Twitch, we will have that come in. Botrix will also notify me of anything from Kick's end. But mainly, we are going to be fully up and running. Ongazeleg, yes, H250, I liked Ongazeleg. No, I did not go in the Shardy. No, I stay away from Shardy. I just like Ongazeleg because I actually found it through 4chan. I like the series. I actually watched the series in full. I've seen even the new AI dubbing. I quite enjoy Ongazeleg. But we got Coco as our little avatar. we're getting hailed. Hell yeah. So if we ever get raided, be wary of that. I'm just kind of doing this as a prelude to you guys because some of you haven't been in chat for a bit. If Botrix fires something through on my end, I still don't know how to raid on YouTube. Rumble, it's pretty simple, but just put a command prompt in chat. Is YouTube like that? I don't think there's actually I think you can only link people in. You can't actually raid on YouTube, which is quite a shame because I would prefer to raid on YouTube. Considering Shota streams there. I haven't figured that out yet. But I know Shota streams on there. Oh, you like the Neat Girl? I mean, yeah, Maya's pretty good. I like Coco. Solely because Coco has her little switch that gets flipped because of her parents, because South Africa. But she's also like this kind of sweet. Like I like how she's like this ditzy sweet girl. But yeah, no, Maya's pretty tight. I like her. Now, I'm not sure if stream's getting a bit buggy because I'm going on Botrix right now, but we're going to see just before... Oh, it lasted long enough, yeah. Hopefully you're just talking about Ungazelleg there. Here we go. You ready? For followers?
Another flawless victory for Hyperborean space stoners.
That's if we get any new followers on Kick. And for hosting for Kick, which is our raid, it will be this. Please work. That failed. What happened? Okay, we're back. I think, yeah, okay, so we are having some cutout problems, okay. I guess I'm loading my bandwidth too much. Hang on, H50, hang on, Derek, everybody hang on. But if we get rated on Kick... we have some good bangers there. Now, I'm going to settle this down so we can all enjoy the coming stream. I think we are fully operational. Going to go back on my YouTube, see how we're doing on that end. I am going to see if we are still alive. Seems to be doing well enough. Seems to be. We are a poor quality. Come on, girl. Come on. I know you're chugging. I know you're chugging. I don't want to kick Twitch. Okay. We're going to go on one tab only on Brave. This should satiate the issue. Less RAM there. Less bandwidth. We're okay here. Go okay here. Oh, I meant the stream. Wish only goes like it lasted longer. Yeah, I wish it did too. Okay, so we are back. Oh, thank God. So you guys are also unfortunately on delay because I'm trying to keep it as much bandwidth reserved as possible. Okay, so it's poor, and I know Derek might have left. Okay, we are chugging. Well, goodbye to Twitch. Goodbye to Twitch there. Okay, Twitch has been cut. We are going to be back on action just very briefly. Hang tight. Come on, girl, you can do it. You can do it. I'm starting to think this is just all through stream elements that's causing this problem because this is getting nuts. I've tried everything on the physical end, so I'm starting to believe this is all just stream elements fucking me over. So just hang on for a brief moment. We're just gonna figure this out here. Should be okay. Should be okay. YouTube's being a fuzzy gal. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hopefully she's coming back now. Come on, girl. which is more common. Okay, so it is still low resolution. Okay, so stream elements and me loading it with bot tricks and the stream alerts can cause problems. But if we can keep it to YouTube and Kick for tonight, we are gonna be okay. So, I think it's wise I also don't do Twitch for tonight because we are gonna be playing car crashes. So it would be wise not to fuck over Twitch that way. So, tonight we are going to be watching car crashes as part of the safari. And we're going off to the far-flung land of China first, where 7 days ago we have China's craziest car crashes from Dashcam China, which, if things go awry, we are going to be getting ready to kill stream if things go wrong. Nope. Oh, I haven't verified my age on YouTube. Okay, so maybe China might have to wait. Maybe we can't do China tonight. Yeah, we got one. Perfect. It is time to go to China. Okay, you are live. Okay. Tell Derek that I'm live. Alright. We should be good. Should be getting Derek back soon. If he wants to. So let's begin. This is Dashcam China. And are you ready to see some horrific crashes? Because I sure should am. Sure, when discussing car crashes in China, crashes are inevitable. The best ones, though, are the new ones with the electric vehicles, because the new Geelys are so shoddy with so many software crashes that they have worse tech issues than my computer does. So this ought to be a good time. A van broke down on the fast lane of the highway, and the driver used a bottle instead of a warning triangle to alert others, ultimately causing a multi-vehicle collision. Welcome to China, everybody. Oh, shit. What the fuck? Look at this fucking idiot. Just go right in the bike lane. Uh-oh. Drove traffic jam on the highway. This video car illegally drove in the emergency lane and collision with another vehicle that was attempting to merge on the vehicle. What are we streaming today, Dr. Love? We are on our first ever. Dr. Love, we are on our first ever Automotive Safari. We are going to the far-flung land of China to watch their dash cams. This is Chinese car culture. It's so beautiful. Oh, fucking here we go. Holy shit. Dude's got a fucking cigar cutter for an ass at this point. That is nuts. He's downshifting, you can hear it. He's following the Mercedes up the hill. They're going for a tailgate run. I'm convinced Chinese people will treat their cars like bicycles or rickshaws. But you gotta remember too, China only started to fully develop their automotive industry and importing automotive and road infrastructure into the 90s. So, just like with India, if India was to have cars, well, I mean, India does have cars, but like if India was to give every fucking person a car, or have the ability to produce cars to such a degree they could have every person drive it, I mean, it'd be far fucking worse, but the Chinese are not far better. And if you know anything about dealing with Chinese vehicles, unfortunately had to work on Geely-made cars before, and they are a nightmare with software tech issues, and they are shoddily built. So be wary when dealing with that type of stuff. And we're unfortunately be seeing, through Vancouver, is going to be importing them in. And I say unfortunately, even though I don't like GM at all, because domestic imports have proven they've fucked us over for China. I'm convinced, but people who can't drive. Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, the Chinese are going to be coming through Vancouver with their cars. As much as I hate GM, and they are trying to make but people can't drive. Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying though is that China is going to be having their cars coming in, and General Motors CEO and have announced, the CEO of General Motors has announced, well, this is a terrible thing. And I'm kind of like, well, first off, lower your fucking prices and that should make small cars that people want to buy again. Maybe this won't be a problem. But number two, it is truly a terrible thing because it's going to get really bad over here. In fact, in Russia, they're calling the Geely cars coffins because the software literally freezes up and will lock the doors and the windows on the driver because they will short circuit due to water, due to ice and snow falling into the crevices of the doors, and and when it melts, it short circuits the car. Oh, wait till you hear about the Chinese Evo cars, the electric cars. My brother in Christ, when I used to browse the O board on 4chan, you would see videos, like compilations of just Chinese cars crashing and taking off on their own. I've seen some horrific crashes. Oh, there it goes. The hell was that? Is that... What? Wait a minute. Oh shit. That's a Porsche. He's going for the attack and kill. Yep. And he's gonna take off. Remember, they always take off. Nope. First, that's actually a first. This is the first time I've seen it not take off. Oh, that's not even a Porsche. What the hell is that? I'm trying to see what that is. Okay, so he's actually stopping to help the guy. That's a first typically for the Chinese. They don't typically stop. They fucking just drive off. Or they run him over multiple times. Oh my god! No fucking way! Plate change! Dashcam vehicle was driving against traffic when it collided with a motorcycle that suddenly emerged from a blind spot. Yeah, this is, this ain't gonna be good. Not really a motorcycle, a scooter. Oh, Chinese lady. So pretty. No, he is not helping me switching plates. I know, it took me a bit of time to see that. Now, where I'm on right now, this lady here. Yeah, I may have yellow fever, but I would never let if I was to get a wife from the Orient, I would never let her drive my car. I'm just putting that out there. He seems to be doing okay. Dashcam car was using autonomous driving mode, but the system failed to detect a vehicle. Oh, here we go. This is some of the good stuff. Yeah, Dr. Love, I forgot. They fucking just hit and run them, or they'll try to run them over multiple times to kill them. Autonomous mode, here we go. Here we go. Not the Honda. It was a terrible crash, though. I was using autonomous driving mode. It's kind of a bad spot to park on the road there. What the I was too busy focusing on the green scooter, I didn't see that shit. Oh! God damn. You okay, lady? Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Multiple vehicles are involved in a highway collision with an unknown cause. Yes, the thing you've ever seen about the Chinese car crashes, though, they'll have massive pileups on the highways. It's actually hilarious to a degree. If it wasn't so brutal half the time. What are they doing? Okay, hug it out with your wife, I guess, but I mean, she's good. The Uber guy, not so much. The accident was most likely caused by the dash cam car driver's failure to brake in time during distracted driving after prolonged hours at the wheel. Yeah. Don't let yourself get highway hypnosis, especially if you follow dotted lines. I've driven how many hours across, like, provincial lines and everything? Fuck, that is... You'll feel yourself go numb, especially if you're on low signal. I used to do for school. I actually remember blacking out at like 140 kilometers an hour, or that's about 85. That's about 80 to 90 miles per hour. I remember blacking out and coming back up, and I just like waking back up in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm like, what the fuck am I? If you are exhausted, you should not be driving. Good lord! And it was not like I wanted to. I actually had to drive that distance. And I remember blacking out, and I just remember having to pull off into a shoulder and then catch some shut eye. I know what that means. I mean, I do make stops when you feel exhausted and maybe buy something to eat and drink. I mean, H250, all I can say is there's only so much caffeine I can take before it completely null and voids and my system will just shut down on me. Like, I will actively just shut down physically. As long as my mouth is moving, I'm awake. I actually have had to slap myself or smash my face off the steering wheel to keep myself running sometimes. It was that bad. It was that bad. As I used to work like 65 to 70 hour shifts, like 70 hour total shifts in a week, and go to school full time. Each drive is about 1 hour there, 1 hour back, and I would only be running on like 3 or 4 hours of sleep maximum. So with all the education, with all the work, and a lot of physical labor too, and some fitness in the mix, I was pretty much on shutdown mode. Not too, but my best system is have food on hand. Food actually makes me sleepy. The digestive tract, the energy that it takes to digest food will actually make me sleepy. Especially if it's fatty foods, because that does, and probably with high proteins, that does take a lot of digestion to get you going. And also, greasy fatty foods will make you tired. So that will put me to sleep. Yeah, otherwise shout. No, like I had no one to keep me awake. I even couldn't keep myself awake. I mean, I remember in class, I fell asleep, and I fell asleep standing up, and I went face first into a desk, and when I came to, my teacher was this Hungarian man, was like, "Sirius, you alright?" And I said, "Well, am I?" And he's like, "Class is over. What happened, man?" I said, "Sir, I guess I'm not sleeping." And he's like, "Sirius, you need to sleep. You drive here an hour, and what are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with my life." I think I was like 17 at the time too. I'm fucking beat. I'm so tired. Whoa! Is he holding bags of water? Or was that gasoline? This is most likely caused by the rear vehicle driver's failure to brake in time during the stretch driving. Chinese R&B, I've never heard this. Damn, bro, never has minimum sleep max. Damn, bro, never has minimum sleep max before. Dr. Love. Dr. Love. I was running off like nothing, man. And I also was eating like 1,000 calories a day maximum. I was in a pretty rough spot mentally. And like, no excuse. I mean, yeah, granted, you military bros go further with like no sleep, but like I partially willingly did that to myself. Sometimes I couldn't even sleep in the night. I could get like maybe 2 hours or 1 hour shut eye. So like I was pretty much going off like nothing. I was seeing things sometimes. I was absolutely seeing some wild shit. I will say though, and this is just me wanting to tangent on this. A thing I'm wanting to do with my car, because with my beloved Volvo C30, which I will bring, not my car in particular, but I'll bring the C30 up in stream because I love talking about these cars. And I know mechanical. I'm actually building an engine. I actually have 2 engine projects I'm building for the car, which is the same motor. And probably I will do a hand cam on stream where I take apart the valve head and measure the stems and clean them up and get them ready for operation again and put new seals in. But a thing I wanted to do for my current C30 is I want to install basically, and it's popular in the C30 community or in the P1 platform because guys will install phone or tablets into the waterfall dash, replacing the old head unit. And I want to figure out a way if, with our advent of AI, and I get it, the AI bubble's going to pop and the data centers are just guzzling resources for no reason. But hearing people who use, Siri or all this other shit for their AI programs, I thought to myself, I always wanted to personify my car as a poster girl for the channel. Make my car into a channel waifu. Get a modification of it. And I thought, why not make like a Cortana-esque avatar for her, and that could be my heads-up display in the car. So in the cockpit, basically, it will keep not engaged in clusters, but it will sound off in probably an AI voice of like, hey, engine code P0420 catalyst efficiency, or like name off some sort of problem with the car that will keep it going. By the way, why do Chinese people have dash cams? I don't think it's mandatory, but I'm pretty sure it's just for documentation of credit and also to be a good citizen to report on those. Remember, it's a surveillance state. I think actually it might actually be mandatory because it's such a surveillance state. I'm not sure if the Chinese girl I was gonna date talked about it, but she drove motorcycles, so I don't think she had to deal with dash cams. The accident was triggered when the lead vehicle, having taken the wrong lane, attempted to make an illegal solid lane change, and the truck refused to yield to the right of way. The fuck are you doing? This is nuts. He's gonna do it anyways. So the funny thing is, I actually have, despite me, despite what people think about transport truck drivers, I've actually had a very good relationship with, transport truck drivers in general on the road. Because I live in an area where there's a lot of truck drivers that will come up and down here, and no, they're not the Indian ones. They're the actual ones that have their full Z license and everything. The ones that I deal with, it's always it's custom in my area that if you're at a stop sign and a truck, a transport pulls up, you keep a 2-3 car distance at the stop sign so the driver can go first and he can swing the truck around, making it easier for him to hit the swing so he won't clip your vehicle. It's good for both of you and the driver. But I've seen a lot of Chinese or Indian just drivers fucking get clocked by trying to run red lights when these drivers come about. And it's I mean, trying to argue semantics is going to be fucking pointless with foreigners, but Jesus Christ, I was how stupid are you when you see that big of a tractor trailer swing, it's going to magically go past you? Do you think your that's going to save you? Also, your nice little remember, this is all the companies are owned by Geely. I don't care what brand they are; they're all owned by Geely, except for the foreign automakers. Even then, some of them are owned by Geely. Yeah, you're a complete fucking moron to try and squeak in there. Like, he's got a beat up hauler truck. Yeah, I'm back serious. I'm back, Derek. He's got a beat up hauler truck. You're a fucking, your fancy little crossover here, SUV, ain't gonna save you. You're not the big man on campus this time around. The involved vehicle was tailgating the preceding car and failed to brake in time. Of course they did. Uh-oh. That was on tailgate. He had a distance. I wonder what could happen now. Merge over, and they're going to clip him. Oh, that's a Volvo XC60. And of course, an old woman driving. If you don't know this also, too, you may not catch on to it, but the Chinese fucking love Volvo. Well, Geely owns Volvo now, since 2013, I believe. They bought it off Ford, essentially. And what happened is that, like Buick, for some reason, the Chinese seem to love Volvo and treat it as a very, very high-end luxury brand. And in fact, they've changed the market face of Volvo to being extremely overpriced, because the Chinese want to have their luxury goods, and they will nickel and dime the, national market. But the thing is, Volvo's remained autonomous to a degree that they're being able to still create plenty of original in-base Sweden cars with Swedish engineering and design, but a lot of the software for the new electric cars are from Geely. And they have notorious issues that have recalls you have to bring back to the dealership to work on it. How do I know this? I used to work at a Volvo dealership. Believe it or not. So, I mean, briefly as an apprentice, but like I basically operating, there was a lot of software problems in these things, especially the new ones that would come out. These XC60s too, there was a hell of a lot of problems regarding the new ones, but the electric ones especially have fucking nightmare software crashes. I will say though, the new EX30, I hate crossovers, I hate SUVs, but the new EX30 was a hoot to drive. The moment you put off safety, like the traction control mode, it disabled every single safety assist. So that thing would want to kick loose on you. And we're talking about an electric car with an all mid-engine rear-wheel drive with 600 brake horsepower and about 800 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. Off the hop, and it would just want to fucking fly on you. It was so much fun when they released those things. I had to test drive them. Do we even still have cars that don't use software computers? Well, okay, we've basically had computers in cars since the late 70s, early 80s. OBD1, onboard diagnostic 1, and electronic fuel injection was the initial. Well, okay, we had electronic fuel injection far longer than that, but OBD was and early ECU and OBD1 was the dawn of the electronic age in cars, which the thing is, I don't have a problem with OBD1 and early OBD2 or mid OBD2, because it depends on the software they're running on, that you can crack them and either tune them or make them run better, depending on how you want to go about it. It's just, when it came post 2010, which a lot of people don't get, who want to be car enthusiasts, for example, Midas doesn't want to be a car enthusiast, but she wants her Lincoln Town Car because she doesn't want electronics interference in the car, which I fully am on board with. I don't buy cars past the 08 recession because they are loaded with gizmos you don't need outside of some Kias and Hyundais. But in particular, though, Midas spoke how she wanted a town car because it doesn't have electronics. It still runs off old LCD interior. It doesn't have everything connected up to a single central hub for electronics. I mean, the stuff that doesn't crash in the middle of the road. You're talking about like brand new cars. It would have to be poverty spec cars that don't have that. As far as I'm aware of. Now, most ICE cars, if you're talking about like the infotainment system, if a part of the infotainment system crashes, the whole thing will crash. But it doesn't mean your car's inoperable. But a lot of electric vehicles, unfortunately, do have that problem where you will. If it crashes on you, you will brick in the middle of the road. We saw that with some Teslas. We saw that with a lot of Geelys. We saw that with the Volvos, Geely Volvos. We see this with some General Motors electric vehicles. It just... My problem has always been that I feel like for the longest time, tech geeks and mechanics and engineers used to mesh well together. And then the tech geeks got their sway on the top of the DEI, and then we're talking about also corporate fuckery at the top of the ladder with the EPA regulations involved too, and they got their sway to be basically the overruling oligarch of the automotive design team alongside the board members. So we've lost the real touch of mechanics with everything, and we've lost them being able to coincide and work with the actual mechanics and engineers on making cars that are reliable and if not enjoyable. Power spec is fine. My current vehicle is a 2010 car with at least a Bluetooth feature and aux cables. So yeah, fuck. The C30 I own, because the C30 was considered a premium hatchback when it came out. The most modern feature it has is a Bluetooth adapter. It literally has Bluetooth hooked into it, built into it. That's the most modern thing it has. It doesn't have CarPlay. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't really have a microphone set up. I'd have to install a microphone on my own part for it if I wanted to talk on the phone and have a car phone, which I don't. Basically, it's still got an LCD screen, and the thing's from 2013. It is... The C3 was designed in 2006, but mine was from 2013. It's just the facelift, but doesn't really have much in the way of amenities. It's... I'd say your best bet is to buy cars that were designed in the 2000s and have 2000s technology, which is that's pretty much the best point of buying cars for the most modern car you can get, but also the one and the most adaptable for modern technology if you wanted to retrofit things in there that were customizable and fully open software or open source. But if you want to just have your own car, but if you just want to have an LCD basic bitch car, the 2000s are the best spec for it. 2000s typically economy of the cars Japanese, Volvo, so Swedish, Japanese. Some Mini Coopers, well, you got to be ready to work on those Mini Coopers hard. Some American products too. Some Fords of that era that were from the UK Ford division. So depends on what you want. Ooh, what do we have here? I'm sorry, that is just such a... Oh, the perspective. Okay, you also remember too that the reason why they run people over in China is that, they'll go back to run over the people they struck, was that the litigation and to be sued in China is like a death sentence. Who had the right of way? In that case, the scooter definitely had the right of way. It was also a blind turn. But I'm saying is that case, they did morally the right thing to check on them, but they will be sued to oblivion, and the Chinese legal system is pretty fucked in that regard. Just like the American one if you get into a car crash, unfortunately, unless you get hit by a illegal, by a foreign invader. But in China, it's far more intense. So that's why you'll see people just run each other over, back and forth to make sure the person's dead, so they can't be sued. Because if the person's dead, they can't sue you. The family can't sue you. The person themselves has to sue you. So if you make sure they're dead, well, you're not going to pay their hospital bills or anything else. Whee! Also, once again, the Chinese fucking love Buick. If you wonder why General Motors killed Pontiac, even though Pontiac in the West had far better sales than Buick could not sell in the Western market, Buick sold really well in China. So when the 2008 recession and the 2008 bailout for General Motors happened, despite Pontiac being profitable and having a great union with Toyota with the NUMMI plant in Sacramento, California, which is now the Tesla plant, the reason why they killed Pontiac was because General Motors wanted to take the American taxpayer dollars to save themselves from bankruptcy and then run off to foreign markets within China. And that's why Buick sold really well in China, because the Chinese want to have luxury, but they don't have the money for true luxury. So they will try their best to mimic true luxury, or supposed true luxury, or supposed name brands with other name brands, and try to hype them up to be as good as other brands. For example, the Chinese really love Bentley. They really, 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 really love Bentley. But Bentley wouldn't sell to Geely, because Bentley was owned by the Germans. They were owned by, I believe, Mercedes or Bavarian Motorwerken, or BMW. So what happened is that because they couldn't get their hands on Bentley, China bought, I don't think it was Rolls-Royce they bought Aston Martin off Ford during the fallout. They bought a bunch of the other marquees from Ford. But one of the most notorious ones they've done was they bought Lotus. Now, if you don't know Lotus, they also bought MG, but the main one they bought for luxury was Lotus. Because Lotus, if you don't know the philosophy of Lotus, it has always been a small boutique sports car manufacturer with Colin Chapman and his wife's philosophy being simplicity add lightness. So they would use economy car or economy sports car motors in very lightweight chassis and tune the shit out of it to a reliable degree, and make some of the most beautiful sports cars that this world has ever seen, and best handling sports cars the world has ever seen. Yeah, they bought Aston Martin. But the thing is, Lotus recently, Geely made Lotus go from using Toyota engines to making all electric vehicles with Geely platforms. And they did what Lotus has never done, and they built cars that were over 2,500 pounds. Lotus always had cars that were below 2,500. The most newest ones, which had the largest motors Lotus has ever seen, which was the Camry V6s and the most recent Evoras, they were still fairly light. And they were able to do supercar level specs of power and speed. But what happened was that now Lotus has cars that can put out 1,000 horsepower on these electric motors and 2,000 horsepower, sort of about like at the sort. They do 1,000 horsepower, but they're building SUVs. They're not even building they're trying to build hypercars, trying to build SUVs. This is never what Lotus was. And while they are selling well in China enough, they've sold more cars underneath Geely than they've ever sold in a lifetime. It was never the point of Lotus, because the Chinese wanted to make Lotus into Bentley. And they couldn't get Bentley, so they bought Lotus, and they've basically tarnished and bastardized and raped the name of Lotus, which is another English marquee and another part of English culture that was raped over by foreign nationals. For the longest time, the only marquee from England that still survived was Mini, which even then in itself was owned by the Germans and was kind of a tampering with the original Mini concept. But the first generation did it right. It's just they kind of strayed very far away with their concepts nowadays. They're making them overpriced for anyone to buy, because it's like Minis are supposed to be economy cars. No one can afford Minis anymore, because they jack the price up to make them boutique cars. It's an unfortunate thing that every company wants to crawl up the luxury ladder, because especially in this philosophy, especially came from China. Uh-oh. Oh no. Whee! Oh no! Oh shit! I love how there's like a massive cutout on the guardrails at the point you would need it the most, at that corner. Oh no. The subsequent collision resulted in the driver's immediate fatality. Preliminary investigation determined the cause. Under poor nighttime visibility conditions, the vehicle struck protruding cargo from a freight truck, causing complete A-pillar failure on the dash cam and quick. Oh fuck! So they got final destination. I am legit bugging out in my end. Oh, for fuck's sake! Not again. I have it kicked down. They got final destination. The one with flashing lights is a safety vehicle. Ah, there they go. You okay? Most collision vehicle movement resulted from brakes pedal release due to loss of muscular tonus following driver fatality. That's the second death we've seen. Oh, fuck. Holy shit. So we just watched 2 people die. Oh, fuck. Chinese car crash, everybody. Let's see what else we can find on the Chinese side that isn't that doesn't need age verification. Because I haven't done that yet. Don't intend to for a bit to save myself on doxing. Chinese car crash compilations. Let's just keep going. If we find another one, that'd be great. But China's greatest car crash and stupidest drivers. Perfect. This one's gonna work. Oh, this ought to be fun. So, to be fair, we didn't see a body. Well, that's a good thing, though, because I have seen, unfortunately, I've had to bear witness to actual car crashes from China where you see things, and it's not nice. Now, there was also a story, I want to talk about this, and I'm putting this in a very serious light here. The results leading up to it is completely the fault of the girl who did it. I have no qualms with it. She was a dumb broad, spoiled teenager that killed herself in doing this. But there was a girl in the States who was a party girl on a trust fund daddy who was a lawyer. Long story short, rich family, lawyer father. I forget what the mother did, but like very, very wealthy family. And trust fund girl was celebrating her 18th or 19th birthday, I believe. And she got into a cocaine-fueled argument with her father. And in the process, she stole her father's Carrera 911 Turbo. It was a red one. And at 100 miles per hour, she clocked headfirst into a concrete toll booth. And I was on the O board, I believe, when this happened. Or, so I wasn't on the O board, but I did unfortunately see the results of this. And the crime scene photos were taken, and unfortunately were leaked online. This is the case of that one officer who got arrested for leaking these crime scene photos online, and basically people were sending it to the family as a sick joke. The only way I can describe it is human soup. Because no matter how well built, how well engineered a car is, the philosophy is we can design these impact zones, we can design these crush zones, we can design everything here to absorb as much impact. It's just when you go from 100 miles per hour to 0 in milliseconds, the question for the coroner is, are they going to be pulling your body out in a body bag, or are they going to be using a ladle to scoop you out? That's the only difference in car design and safety design nowadays. Because you can't save something like that. I think some edgelord on the O board posted that, and it was on a You Laugh You Lose regarding like just Scotty Kilmer jokes and other stuff like that, and some tryhard posted that photo, and it was just kind of like, you just gotta sit there and you go, there's just some things in the world you just don't want to see, right? Yeah, she was a dumb bitch for doing what she did. Equally too, no one should die like that, nor should their family have to bear witness and be spammed with photos and have that photo printed out and sent to their address for years to come, as some sick fucks would do. As a troll. It wasn't it was just... Yeah, there's just some things you gotta remember, like, how many fatalities there are with vehicles every year. It's through poor maintenance, through poor drive, skillmanship of the road. It's through impulse. It's low impulse control. There's a lot of things that go in factors. As I said before, as a guy who has street raced in his time on togeys and on mountain passes on valley roads, the amount of precautions we took for this type of thing was palpable. You cannot imagine the amount of precautions and scoping and scouting and then safety precautions we took to do these things. But it's never really us who ends up killing or getting killed. It's the ones that your average person who just one day decides to have an impulse to slam down their foot on the accelerator. And they're the ones that end up killing themselves. And as a mechanic too, I take my job very seriously to a degree. You may see us as shoddy people trying to scam you out of money. I always take pride in my work. I understand finance can be hard, but also too, I have to call everything I see. And I get very stressed out in my job. Unfortunately, to a degree, that does annoy and anger people, my coworkers, because my failures, I feel, are on my part. Not just the shop, not just putting quality for the shop, but my own part, because I have to make sure the lives of these people are going out there on the road are safe. It's in my hands, essentially. No matter how much insurance there is, it's going to be on my head, my conscience, if something goes wrong. I also take a special anger whenever I see people who neglect necessities of their vehicle. And I can laugh and say Baldini special whenever I see bald, slick tire, like basically drag slicks on a car, on a minivan. But that joke, or people who try to fill up the air pressure of their car to thinking the air pressure gauge is a percentile, and they try to fill up to 100% on a car that's supposed to only take 35 psi per tire. I can have jokes all I want, but the moment I see a booster seat in the back or a baby seat in the back, those jokes will go away immediately. There's a unbridled anger and worry because the driver has the most amount of impact and basically SRS restraints and airbags and built for them for safety. That kid's not going to survive if you go into an accident. And I get enraged when I see people with pop cans and alcohol bottles and THC bottles in their car, and there's that kid in the back, and it's like, you are fucking splurging your money on this shit, and you are not traveling your kid around in a safe car. I don't care how big it is, I don't care how big of an SUV it is, you are fucking retarded, and your kid's gonna die because of you. And what I've heard and have had reports on crashes, and I have friends that work EMS, or I've known people who work EMS, in police, and first responders. And when it's a kid, you see that dead soul behind their eyes come out. They feel the pain more than ever. I'm sorry for going on a tangent here, but even as a mechanic, I can have all the fun games I want, I can repair all the things I want, I can have jokey stories about things, but at day's end, while you're spending money for me to fix your car, I want to see you live. I want to see you have a safe ride home. Not just in passing, not just cordiality. I want you to be okay. I want you to get people to take care of your cars better, especially when you're dealing with people around you. Back to Chinese car videos. A little bit of oversteer, never hurt anybody. Sorry, H250, I can get a little bit moody sometimes. Watch a wall. Okay, that was pretty good. Also, H250, you missed it last night. We actually had a North American webcam dashcam compilation we were watching. I think Mabel had left by that point, but I was watching by myself. And there's a girl, some quirk chungus girl. It sounded like she's like, oh my goodness, wow, this is so weird. What a weird day. She was driving a 1998 red Honda Accord sedan, and I had to stop and replay the video like once to listen to what she was listening to. She was blasting Devil Trigger, and she got a T-boned by a security patrol car. So not a police car, but just a security patrol car. And she was listening to fucking Devil Trigger. Oh fuck! Dark. Yeah. Damn it! I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for making fun of the Mandarin. I should actually learn Mandarin sometime. Whee! Oh, he's racing. What the fuck? Oh shit, that's a Civic. So he was driving a Civic. Because I immediately knew that was an FN8 or FN Civic right there, based on the dash layout. And FN means chassis code. And he crashed into I can't even tell what it is now. Double kill, triple kill, Kilimanjaro. Whee. Oh, he lost control. Now, I am myself thinking about buying a motorcycle someday for myself. Just insurance is a little bit high for it, for a young man like me, but I'm thinking about buying a sport bike of some sort. And preferably, I like one I can rebuild an engine on, because I would like to do one for a hand cam. And I'd preferably like one that is Japanese, probably Kawasaki or Honda, and from the 80s preferably, or 80s or 90s. Doesn't need a high-end track bike, but I would like a little motorcycle for myself, a little sport bike. I say little though, but my height may beg to differ. I might need to go for a larger size motorbike, not because of my weight, but my sheer size, my sheer length and height might be a problem for me. Look, oh, these tripod trucks. Oh, I love these little things. They're so the little tut-tuts. They're so stupid, but I love them. Little tuk-tuks. Man, you did my boy dirty. At least no one got hit. Look at that view. You get a bit closer to it. I'm sorry, but these fucking scooters. I love it when these fucking scooters come out of the middle of nowhere. They're as bad as cyclists in here in the West, but like it's so fucking funny. I hope she's okay, though. Oh, boy. That was a double one, jeez. Like I said, some of these guys would be driving their cars like they're bikes. Oh, yeah. Well, they seem to be. Bye-bye. What a beautiful sight. That's an older CRV, isn't it? Whee! A little Honda Jazz there, too. Oh, I'm sorry, that is... he ate shit there. Right on the bumper. Okay. How do you figure that much? There he goes. Oh yeah, those box trucks, they Oh no. I have seen that. I actually talked to a couple guys who work on actual transport trucks like that. Actually much larger than those, and it's like, yeah, no, we've seen when the wheels come off, we know some retard fucking got that, and they are getting criminal charges if they find out who was the last mechanic on that one, because they fucked up hard. Hi, 小兔跟脚。
哎呀，我不是让你慢一点吗？对，他要是变道啊，他全责。对啊。看到。我先走，先走。我靠！要死了！我靠，捡回一命，他命大。
Oh! Fun fact, I was once riding my bike out of college and unfortunately crashed into the side of a car. I was fine since we never went on fast speed. Oh jeez, man. Like, you actually had a motorbike? Or was it an actual, like, or just normal cyclist bike? Well, I mean, I'm glad you're okay. I mean, jeez, it's a good thing you walked it off. I've known too many people who've actually wiped out hard on motorcycles and just got skin grafting. What type of road is this? The fuck type of road is this? Oh, regular bike. I'm sorry to hear, man. Holy shit. And the truck's about to go. Oh, you hear him singing and just fucking lose it. Yeah, China's got some weird mountain pass roads like this. And there we go. What's gonna go on here? Oh, look at that. Jackknifed. Beautiful. Somehow jackknifed it. Probably, yeah, rear end collision, jackknife, pulled over, hit. Yeah, that's a bad one. Holy shit! You know, maybe Dr. Love was right about them being like that. They're like a fucking hive mind. Holy shit. Look at this. That's gotta suck. And once again, using the breakdown lane as a passing lane, that's a dick move regardless. A bit of flamenco? You know, that's the funny thing with all these dashcam videos. Like, I love how, like, there's so much, like, weird variety of what you'll hear people talking about. I remember, I think I was watching, I think it was Dallas Soup, aka Sniping Soup, from the Goons, and he was watching it with Ethan. They were watching Idiots and Cars Fail, and someone who was in the video had the Goons podcast playing over the car speakers, and you could hear them talking over the. So just like hearing his voice, and it's like, wait a minute, no way. I'm waiting for the day when I start hearing VTubers on like on these car crash videos. Okay. That's kind of, yeah. Not really just sucks, but I mean, that. I kick in the dick.
你刚刚急刹，可真是把我吓到了。
这探险队秘密前往西藏，去寻找一个名为沙姆巴拉的神秘地方，而沙姆巴拉推测就是冈仁波齐。今天鲨鱼要讲。
Bye bye. And they're gone. The hell was that? I love the last minute. Here we go. I love the face just before it happens. And that kid's how I met your, and that kid's how I met your mother. I'll admit seasonally legit makes me scared of being on the road, and I tend to be a regular driver these days. My head's always on the swivel. I love driving. I'm an enthusiast driver as well. I just keep my head on the swivel. Oh! God damn! What? Whee! Where did the dog come from? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, I should have just kept going. No way. The parking orb of doom. Not the Acura. See, that's good. Oh, hello, Aunt Malcolmite. Yeah, she's playing with Lord Rexworth. I gotta check that out sometime. But yeah, no. That was China in our car safari. Yeah, women moment. Now we're gonna move on to the far-off lands of Saudi Arabia. And we will meet our first star of the night. A gentleman by the name, a fine kafir of the Saudi drift scene. Not a kafir. A fine sultan of the Saudi drift scene. Hitler Crash Bandicoot Drift. So just tell me why. Little thing I do. Now, famously, this man is known for driving a Honda Accord. I never had the orb, but I always had moments where I misjudged my spacing, tapped the low wall. Yep, the curb. Yeah, you always touch the curb. Give the curb a little kiss. But our dear friend here, infamously, is very famous because he was one of the legends of the Saudi drift scene, and he would pilot a stock 2007 Honda Accord and 2008 Mazda 6. Why that name? Well, good question, H250. Good question. For you see, in Saudi Arabia, stunt racing, stunt driving, carries not just a felonious felony, but it carries a punishment of death. So these drivers would mask up, and they would don these pseudonyms, because the drift scene had taken over the world. The Fast and Furious scene had really gone over its way and taken over the world, and when it came to Saudi Arabia 5 years too late, they got hooked on it. And of the Arabian Emirates, they took off with their own drift scene. And basically, it can only amount to as high-speed Scandinavian flicks. It's not really anything special in terms of actual talent, but the Saudis became so endearing with their attempt to be cool that it literally spawned a unironic cool factor. And it can only be of its time era. It can never be replicated. They tried to make their own drift scene nowadays with sanctioned drift cars, and we're going to be wearing our full-blown outfits and religious attire, and we'll be drifting in our D1 drift cars. No, this was the true Saudi drift scene. And they went underneath many pseudonyms, and Hitler Crash Bandicoot Drift was just one that was just stuck out. And you can see by the editing here, this was very much of its time. Mid to late 2000s. And it's beautiful on Sony Vegas Pro demo mode. And this group is actually a Saudi group called House Boys that made this remix of It's Gonna Be Me. We'll see how long it takes me to get copyright struck. Also, he was forgotten about in the annals of history as the Saudi drift scene slowly died out. Until, in 2023, Sam Hyde covered this on the New Pill podcast and re-sparked Saudi drift interest. Here we go. And this is not me on low quality mode. This is the best quality there is. 240p. Absolute cinema. So you gotta wait for a little bit. Not Eurobeat, it's not even trance, it's dance music. It's basically house party dance music. It's house. There he goes! So, as I said before, he did a Scandinavian flick, which means you just transfer the weight of the car by snapping the wheel one direction then coming back around the other, so causing it to shift the weight and transfer and lose traction, especially on front-wheel drive vehicles. Now, this was called a Scandinavian flick because the Scandinavians developed this technique during the 60s of this 1960s era of rally. And famously, Saab, with their I believe, trying to remember, the Saab rally car that was the famous one, Saab 60s rally car. Saab was basically the most dominant, had one of the most dominant streets in rally with the Saab 9.6. Actually, not just the Saab 9.6, but also before that, I believe the Saab also wielded, mainly the Scandinavian drivers would wield their Saabs. Saab 9.5s and Saab 9.6s were the kings of rally for the longest time. Despite being front-wheel drive, which people typically don't think would work well in rally, comparing with rear-wheel drive competitors, they were a small, snappy chassis, and the moment on ice and snow, you could snap the car by sliding it, by doing this weight transfer maneuver, and initiating what's called lift-off oversteer, which what happens is, on front-wheel drive, when you apply the accelerator into a corner, you get what's called understeer, where the car's being pulled, but it's not going, it's on a more obtuse angle than the angle you need to go into a corner. By doing lift-off oversteer, it's happens when you lift your foot off the throttle, and once all that power is removed from the accelerator, the wheels no longer being turned in one way, they have more leverage to snap the other way and bring the car around. So if you lift off, you'll be into oversteer, and snap oversteer can occur from this when you have too much transfer and the power cuts, the car can come around and snap it or drift on you. But with the Scandinavian flick, you're basically initiating a snap oversteer with weight transfer, but also keeping your foot down the throttle to basically gun the car into a direction you want to go on the exit of the corner. So what these guys are just doing on open highways is sliding around the highway in a semi-controlled Scandinavian flick at about 120 miles per hour. And you can see the angle he's getting at here. He's getting some rear entry on that one too. And they will keep this going as much as they can. And they will also do techniques with manual cars where they'll basically start spinning it like a top and going around and around and around in a front-wheel drive, transferring into some J-turns as well. It's not exactly high art, but how endearing the Saudis made it be was enough to become a sensation in the West here, like Forbidden Tapes. Like this was like essentially what early Jackass was, but for drifting. And this is like their version of Plus Speed, which is the first Japanese drift video to go viral, if you will. This was their version of that. Not exactly refined, not exactly high talent, but pretty much very endearing. And utilizing the internet through pirated means to upload these videos. Especially on early YouTube. This was everywhere on early YouTube. You see, he's gone about 360 now. He's gonna go for it again. Look at him go. And look at that editing. That's beautiful editing right there. Just the beautiful editing of a Sony Vegas Pro on the demo edition. This is cinema. Look, now he's in the Mazda now. The Mazda 6. Hazards go on and he starts the attack. Yep. This was early YouTube. This was way before we cared about ad revenue, before we cared about sponsorship deals, before we cared about, your algorithm, your analytics. This is before any of this shit. This was just, if your video goes viral, you went viral for one video and that was it. That was your nod out, right? Outside of like maybe a few exceptions of making some constant entertainment because you love doing it, this was, you made it for the love of the game and the hope that you would go viral with some popularity. You weren't expecting to make millions. Maybe make a couple $1,000 if it was really viral, but that was a pipe dream. You were going in for the short, long ride of it. I miss this era of the internet. That's why every little thing I do never seems enough for you. Also, as a guy who is a mechanic, I said before, and also a car enthusiast, people would ask me, serious Kovac, what car do you prefer driving? What platform have you driven? And the only platform I've not driven is a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car outside of electric vehicles. I've never had the chance to drive that yet. But you'd ask me, you must like rear-wheel drive drifting. You want to be a super drifto. In fact, funny enough, another VTuber from Canada who owns a car and is somewhat of a car enthusiast would be Lydia Nekazawa, who does the Newsy News. So is the Honda a European model or is the video reverse? No, that's a Mazda. That's a Mazda 6. Lydia Nekazawa, who owns a Toyota AE86 in hot pink. I'm not sure how much work she actually knows in the car or she has done to the car, but she owns it. But if you're talking about like me, I prefer racing and driving and road rallying in front-wheel drive cars because I've grown up on nothing but small, lightweight hatchbacks. And for me, front-wheel drive is surprisingly, is actually a very fun platform for me to drive over rear-wheel drive because rear-wheel drive, it's so easy to break loose and have that so-called fun, but with front-wheel drive, you're equally safer in turning, but you're more so when it gets squirrely on you, the fun really comes to play, and it takes more of a talent to really awaken a front-wheel drive car to reach where it is. And when you have that talent and skill, like I honed, you can do a lot of fun shit and also become really fast. I used to be very dominant on the one valley I used to race in my C30 for the time being. I was a very dominant driver. The only thing that ever really whooped my ass, I only had about 2-3 losses underneath my belt, and the one that beat me, that thoroughly thrashed me, was a retired accountant who drove a Lotus Elise. So essentially, I was a fairly decent driver back when. And in doing so, I learned many techniques. I learned how to heel toe, very basic ones like heel toe, down rev matching on proper rev matching, left foot braking. I learned many techniques. I learned how to dance on the pedal and constantly get my own. But my favorite thing to do was get that handbrake snap for a quick release to the rear and kick the ass around and just let the turbo and keep the engine running and spooled up with the turbo spooled up. So when I would want to regain traction, I'd just slam down the throttle and that front-wheel drive T5 would just scream away and would kick me through the apex of the corner. I had so much fun back during COVID. I had so much fun back when. Once again, as I said before, I retired from that. The people that used to go there, we all retired from that racing scene, because when COVID began to let up, a lot of idiots began to come out there, and we're going in the middle of the day, and there was also women that would come down there, not racer girls, but women with their fat SUVs that would come down there, and they would be crossing the lines, and you'd get clipped if you just went down there for a nice little Sunday stroll, because it was a beautiful scenic route. So I nearly got killed at 40 kilometers an hour. Not even racing, just fucking 40 kilometers an hour, which was the speed limit, just going 40. And I nearly got killed by some lady who was on her phone and double-crossed the line in a massive Escalade. I nearly had to dump the car to save myself. Back to it. Oh, this is beautiful. The fuck is this editing? Oh, this audio is so schizophrenic. But you can see him, there he is. There's in the Mazda 6. You can see it right there. She's dancing. He's really got a lot of lean. And also, another thing about the Saudi drift culture is that the goal was to be as discreet as possible. So these guys would buy these sedans from the dealership, these literal sedans, and part of the culture was to keep the plastic original cellophane wrap on the seats with the stickers, the dealer stickers in the windows, to make it look like a fresh off the lot car that was on a test drive, and they would fucking do this. And remember, these things are unmodified, so all that body roll on that chassis is actually doing more favors for the snap for his little technique here, but it is borderline risking rolling over, which has very common. A lot of fatalities actually occurred from these Saudi drift videos, unfortunately. Something I don't really want to show because they can get pretty brutal. But look at him go. Look at that pirouette. Not even pirouette. Look at that dance. Look at him dance. Woo! There is the Honda. There's that Accord. See, at the time, the popular cars were the V6 Accords, the V6 Mazda 6s, Camrys, of course, but they also loved Impalas and Malibus. And that kind of goes back to my talk about the Iraqi taxi back when. The Malibu, especially, was considered not just a luxury car, but it was also considered a widow's car, because it kind of had the same onomatopoeia sound as Ibibu, which is the Iraqi pronunciation or enunciation of a woman crying. So it was, the Arabic enunciation of a woman crying. So the Malibus really took off as well as like a widowmaker car, supposedly, but they were really good for this type of thing. Basically, if it had a V6 and it was a front-wheel drive sedan, they would fucking love to check these things around. Because rear-wheel drive is very expensive during this time period, and even nowadays. You're just too fine. The Bibu Mobile. Oh, no, it's like don't crash the Bibu Mobile. It's too cute and funny. You can't deny, so just tell me why. Here he goes. I love it. I'm loving it, Jerry. Look, he's even holding up his sponsor. He's holding up. See, some of these guys had balls to show their face sometimes, and they would hold up their handles sometimes. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, yeah. I wish they would do all these cut edits, because he's dancing in the middle of the highway right now. Look at that go! Oh, I love this so much. Keep him going, man. Keep him going. Keep on coming. Oh, I love that so much. It's beautiful. It's gonna be me. All that I do. Just look at him go. Oh, I love this era. I miss this so much. We're gonna go more into these Saudi drift videos, but this guy was up. I love him. I love his videos so much. This was so good. Oh, I miss this era so much. Oh, love it. It's so good. It's got a little tear in my eye. Look at that! I wish it was a water truck, but look just around it. Oh, that is some style right there. Stunt on these hoes. Just stunt on these hoes, please. The king. Hail to the Sultan, inshallah. Welcome back, Dr. Love. We are just finished up with Hitler Crash Bandicoot Drift. Look, is he only? He's got the crash plush. Look at it. He's got the crash plushie. That's my boy. That's my boy. Wow. I love it. Oh, I love these guys so much. Listen. I'm not gonna pull. Oh, I can't remember that fucking twat on that one British announcer who would trade his whole country for chicken masala. I'm not a Piers Morgan. You think Saddam ever got on these? Oh man, I think Saddam would have loved these. But I'm not a Piers Morgan. But I would send out how many white liberal women to these countries in exchange for 5 of these guys. Like, okay, send back all the fucking third worlders in England, send all the fucking third worlders in every Western nation. But we trade like 25 white liberal women for one of these drifters. We trade one of them for these guys, because I will fucking love to see one of these guys here. Because, oh man, they would have so much fun in the snow. Fuck, I would willingly become the Lawrence of Arabia and go to Saudi Arabia, dress as Thomas Edward Lawrence, and start drifting a Camry if I could. I don't care about the death penalty. I would do it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Like, I wish you could see outside the car, because I can only see the motion inside here, but he's throwing that thing around right now. And I'm pretty sure they actually listen to music when they're driving, so they sync themselves up for choreography. Like, this is probably the coolest thing that any Saudi has done in the past, like, since the conception of the modern Saudi Empire. The only cool thing they've ever done is this. We're almost done. We got about a minute left of this. Oh, this is just art. I love it so much. Alright, I think it's just repeating clips now, but this, you get the general gist, right? Yeah, it's all clips repeating. Yeah, it's end. 1420 to 12. Uh-oh. Forever, no matter what. You crazy Saudis. Saudi drift. Let's go back to watching some Saudi drifts here. Oh, you want to see a crash? I gotta do a quick check on the thumbnail here. Oh, this is a bad one, yeah. Okay, this one doesn't hit any spectators, thankfully. We're watching with no limits. This one's from 2011. Okay. It's a bit of an older one, but it checks the archives. Here we go. You know the scary thing is too? I believe even my parents watched this on, I think it was like some local broadcasting channel, but like they covered this stuff back in like the 2000s as well. As like as when people were really interested about the war on terror and were like still trying to figure out about the Middle East. This wasn't memory TV. This wasn't on memory, but like this was stuff that you could see as like, oh, what's it like in the Middle East? And they would bring up this shit. Make sure it's not blacked. We don't accept that in this type of household. You want to have that type of that language? You go to Contails chat. We bleach our screens here, boy. Oh, and they got some nice music. I will admit, they got some good music picks. Look at them go. That's not a Honda. Is that a? Yeah, that was a Corolla or Camry. No way. I know the screen, Eric. I'm making a joke. Hang on a second. That's a Roadmaster. What the fuck is that doing there? Oh, around school buses too. Oh man. Oh, dudes rock. I love this techno. I'm loving this. Go get him, boy. By Allah, children, look at that cool ass drift. Oh, my brothers, my little disciples, would you look out the window at the beautiful drifting scene? This is the work of Allah. How do you think Takumi Fujiwara got the 8.6 through jihad, of course? Oh, imagine Takumi delivering kebabs instead of tofu. And now I'm imagining my favorite manga, Overrev, where Ryoko and all the other girls are now wearing fucking hijabs and shit. It would ruin the story, but I mean, I'm just gonna have a laugh at that idea. Whee! Here he goes. I love the guys that just hang out the car. Oh, these guys are so good. Oh, it's such cheap entertainment, but it's so good. Oh, he loves to give him a good dust down, doesn't he? Okay, so what the hell is that? Get closer. I couldn't make that out. I'm pretty sure. Is that that's like a Toyota, right? It's still a Camry, I'm pretty sure. That looks to be... Get closer, get closer, get closer, get closer. I can't even make it. I can't make out what type of car it is. He's just going by too fast, and the footage is too shitty. They'll become amorphous blobs to me at some point. Oh, hey now. Hang on, what the hell was that? Dude's rocking middle with basketball shorts and orange t-shirt. Oh, in the middle of traffic, too. And I think all this was happening, Generation Kill guys were just trying to make it past the bridge. Well, you remember that? Okay, because like I actually read the full book in Generation Kill, and we also know that one scene. When they came across the dead militants, they found that they were from Saudi Arabia too. So you got to remember how many Saudi men got either trained or were from Saudi Arabia, right? And we were supposedly allies with them. Supposedly, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We also know the hijackers too. Yeah. We weren't supposed to be in fucking Iraq. Like, I'm not gonna be like an anti-war hawk here, but like equally too. Oh no, I mean, I am anti-war hawk, but I'm not gonna be that fucking like, you know, down with the machine, man. No, like, there was some justification to go to Iraq, not from the fucking lies sold, but like, Uday, Saddam himself, but, you know, also with his loving of dropping biological weapons on people, so there was some credence to that. However, love is a crock of shit. But we're not here to talk about politics. We're on our car safari here. We're here to watch about cars. Look at him go. Oh, hang on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Hang on. Killing stream. I'm losing stream. Uh-oh. We got problems. Damn you, Twitch. Love is a crock of shit. Love is a crock of shit while enjoying the Drift 2026. I didn't say that. I didn't say love is a crock of shit. I said the whole thing was a crock of shit. Yeah, but you know what? All's fair in love and war, and love is a crock of shit. This is just spectacular. This is not. I want to say it's art. It is art. I will not deny it anymore. My racism is coming down. This is art. This is just sheer art. I love it. It's simple, yeah. It's not the most highest. It's not the highest form of automotive art, but it's art to me. I'm still gonna steal a quote. That's gonna be mine. Love's a crock of shit. Because I'm just a fat fucking chud. I'm just a fat fucking chud, don't you know? Look at him go. Yeah. That was our friends over in Saudi Arabia. And now we will leave the Arabian Peninsula for now. We've had our fun here. But it's time to make a stop in Korea. Because Korea has had a booming automotive industry as of recently. And it's a short stint, but Korea started having at one of their newly opened tracks the Festival of Speed. And the Festival of Speed is a locally owned and sanctioned event where it will, I forget which is where it comes from, but it comes from it was a way to foster the Korean drift scene and the Korean automotive culture. And over in Korea, Kia sold what was called the K3, but as we know it over here, we call it the Forte and the Forte Coupe. And the Forte Coupe, I still think is a very underrated car, especially the turbocharged ones. But in 2014, they held at the Korean Festival of Speed a stock race, between a bunch of pretty much stock Korea K3s on a rainy day. And wouldn't you know what would happen but a beautiful occasion.
상당히 좀 잘한 것 같아요. 그렇죠. 김대호 선수가 방어를 좀 하고 있고요. 계속해서 이원일이 추월을 시도를 하고 있습니다. 이제 뭐 쿡쿡 찔러 보는데요. 네. 이원일 선수 일단 뭐 2연승을 먼저 챙겼기 때문에.
So remember, four-wheel drive cars, these are about 180 horsepower stock. Oh, 174 horsepower actually with the 2.4 liter.
여기서 이제 브레이크를 누가 더 늦게 밟느냐인데요.
It's time for us to dance. And remember what I said about snap overs here with front-wheel drive cars? Well, you get something like this. Watch the red one. And there he goes! A simple four-wheel drive drift that came from snap oversteer. He held that control and he let that car slide out on him, and then he kicks in the throttle right about here and it pulls out. Look at that pass. Everyone else understeering and he's just holding on. North Korea has stolen Volvo, South Korea makes their own cars. That's the difference between the two. Cinema. This is beautiful. I love this. I loved working with Koreans on cars. I used to work at a shop where a lot of Koreans would come in. Oh, I loved working on their cars. They were such nice people, and they took good care of their cars. But oh man, there were some fun ones that modified their Forte coupes, and they were a hoot to drive. Korean drift. Pentakil! I love the Koreans. And apparently they have their own drift queen now. I believe we're going to pull this up quickly. I'm going to make sure I'm confirming, because apparently there's a actual drift queen in Korea. I'm yet to hear about her. No, I don't want TikTok edits. Si-hyun Kar, apparently.
Are you ready for it?
Game music. No music. Please, no music. Yeah, so of course the drift scene's beginning to take off, but what's a Korean drift scene without a race queen girl? It's pretty okay, I would say. But now we've made a stop in Korea. It's time to work our way down south, and we are heading down to the wonderful world of Australia, where a member of our stream. Of the Almighty Lolly's channel, we know him. We know our lovely Korean car enthusiast from the land down under. Well, in Australia, sorry, our Australian car enthusiast from the land down under, our Australian car enthusiast, I've talked to him about this before. And there's two types of racing Aussies are very much known for: supercar, and a newer one that came out, improved production. And Australia had a rising superstar in improved production racing, which is basically take as many cars as possible, different displacement classes, different power classes, neuter the power down to the weight, and send them on a road track. And a rising star in a famous little Honda Civic EG6 hatch goes by the name of Jordan Cox. And Jordan Cox, on Mount Panorama, became famous for this video. And I want you to watch this red EG6. He's followed by a bunch of M3s, a Toyota Celica, and he's chasing down a Commodore. So V8, inline 4, inline 6, V8 turbocharge. Just look at this lineup. And by the way, Jordan Cox specifically has a Honda, has a Skunk 2 built. Sorry, is it Skunk 2? Yeah, I believe it's Skunk 2 that built his motor. B20 VTEC. So it's got a B16 head with a 2-liter B20 block to get the most displacement, and it's naturally aspirated, pushing out about 254 wheel horsepower. Front-wheel drive too. Here comes the pass. So watch it. He's going to so he's going on the top of the corner here, at the top of Mount Panorama. Ideally for a front-wheel drive car, you're going to want to go swing in from the inside, and you want to get exit on the outside. That's the fastest path for any turn. But when you got a rear-wheel drive car blocking a path, they're going to keep that inside shut at the apex. So you got to be ballsy to nose your way in. And you're about to see this. Right there. On that turn. That little margin for error, like the amount of margin for error there is just incredible. But that little gap he got, and watch him, he fucking floors it. And you know the best part about this whole race is? He's driving on a broken strut, on a leaking strut right now in the front right. So that car, the way it's angling, it's because his strut gave out on him, and he's got no hydraulic fluid in that strut absorbing the shock. So the only thing that's keeping the car up there is the springs in the actual strut assembly itself, but there's no fluid in that strut. So that shock is just rattling away at the front. He's gone. Uh-oh.
Time round, but they have made up a bit of ground on
audio, sorry.
Wilson in fourth spot, but certainly, again, as they go through the chase, Cox has got a decent lead.
What a beautiful pass.
8-7 for Hislop on his first flying lap. So look, stand by, he's going to go quicker. As we watch this battle for fourth now, because Cox is clear. Then we've got Wilson followed by, we've got a replay of this great move across the top of the mountain.
Here we go, John. Wow.
Right of his arse.
On that car, and you know what? He's got his foot absolutely planted through the floorboards there. But this is absolutely gobsmacking. He hasn't even hit the brake yet.
No, he's still on.
He didn't brake at all. He only braked just dead last moment. Oh, that's really late brake at that point.
Wow, that's some great driving, Jordan Cox.
And the kid's gone pro in the Australian Touring Car Championship. So now he's moved up from his own team. He's now driving, I believe, Alfa Romeos. But he's done pretty well for himself. But that's not to say about supercar racing. Because supercar V8 was something else. That's something that that On the Level knows about. And my little home team for a short stint had a V8 supercar, Volvo. And Volvo, in a video by Vigio Racer, Volvo built a car, a very short-stinted engine, and associated with Yamaha. And when Yamaha builds motors for cars, they don't do things conventionally. They don't build, hyper reliable or, they don't build mass production motors. They build reliable motors, but their stuff's not mass production. When they build motors, it's on special request by companies. Typically, Toyota would go for them. The 2ZZ, parts of the 4AGE, the 2000 GT motor, the Beams motor. Yamaha had their hand in almost everything. But Yamaha, for 2 years of production, went with Volvo to build a V8. The other engine Yamaha's known for is the Show V6 for the Ford shows, Taurus shows, which could be tuned and modified past the rev limiter up to 10,000 RPM for a V6. But these V8s were something interesting because they were only put in 2 boring production cars and one of the fastest British sports cars ever built, and a family lineage of it was put in Volvo's supercar V8 motor race car for Australia.
As long as the automotive division of Volvo is concerned, there is only one Volvo V8 the world knows, besides the B36, a 4.4-liter Japanese-made engine. It is not a common type of a V8. It had to be a narrow-angle unit.
A unit for a transaxle layout, meaning front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive platforms only.
For perfect fitment, and later found a different application. Let me take you on tour of development and story of the Volvo B8.
Now this here is not it's not an actual Volvo, that's a Yamaha boat motor V8, but Volvo also owns a they own a company. Oh boy. I know what it is. Volvo Pentastar is their marine division. They built some really powerful boat motors as well. So a little catch up for you guys.
It is a public secret that this power plant was developed and manufactured by the Japanese. The design originates from Sweden, but it was Yamaha who put it into a physical shape. The main objective...
Once again, when Yamaha builds car engines, you come to them for art. My case in point, the LFA is the Lexus LFA's engine. It may not be the most powerful engine on earth. It was delayed heavily, and when it came out, it was not the car itself was not very powerful considering its competition. But it made up for it in its pure character and sound it made. And that was Yamaha. Yamaha, once again, Yamaha makes instruments. They make music with their engines.
Was a 60-degree bang angle,
and this engine's no exception.
Smallest possible footprint, suitable for a transverse engine platform where normally a 5-cylinder would sit in.
Yep, Volvo at this time, their smallest engine in the West, especially, the smallest engine you could buy was a T5 or a 5-cylinder, 2.5 liter and 2.3 liter. By the time this engine rolled off the lot, the 2.5 liter basically overtook all other 5-cylinder engines, and that was the smallest engine you can get in a Volvo.
There was no place for wider arrangement, which caused
2.5 5-cylinder, mind you.
Added complexity, but more on that later. The first bird was the XC90 from 2005, and a year later, also the second-gen S80.
And also, this S80 here, the V8 all-wheel drive, it's unknown or unconfirmed, but apparently House MD seemed to have a good sponsorship deal with Ford, which owned Volvo at the time, because Wilson, during the key pivotal seasons of House MD, drove a S80 V8 all-wheel drive. In some of those pivotal episodes of House. His car for those episodes was this car, the S80 V8 all-wheel drive. Now, what you need to know is that the engine is very reliable. The problem is, though, is that the transmission could not handle the automatic. It only came with automatic transmissions, and they could not handle the torque these V8s could put out. But listen to that noise. That's just art.
Some may raise a question, as Yamaha already made a 60-degree V8 not a long time ago.
They did it for the show.
All 3 companies,
Ford
Volvo,
show.
Yamaha,
These things are so much fun.
and Ford denied any similarities in the design.
No.
It was an open-deck die-cast block versus a closed-deck sand-cast 3.4 show unit. Although bore spacing, stroke length, bearing journal diameter, and a block height were interestingly the same.
That's in rough
The show
shape.
engine was mostly derived from the Duratec V6 platform,
Mhm.
whereas the Volvo motor was a clean sheet design.
Because Volvo, in production, outside the one motor, had never really built a passenger vehicle. So Volvo will call their petrol engines Bs. All of the naming designation starts with the B because that means benzene, so gasoline. And Volvo always... Remember, Volvo can get weird and really good, great for performance, but they're also very. It's very rarely when they do it, and when they do it, it doesn't last terribly long. Except for the T5 lineage, which just lasted for how long? And the Bosch ME9 fuel system they used was heavily tunable. It was easy to crack, and everyone fucking tuned it to shit. Like, I mean, I'm doing it, for God's sake. I love building the engines, but like the Bosch ME9s apparently is one of the easier units to crack for fuel delivery.
The BA444S.
But this is general with most turbocharged engines.
Meaning behind it. It was a gasoline in Swedish benzene engine using 8 cylinders, a 4.4 liter of engine displacement.
Sorry, it made about 439 pound-feet. I mean, it was not terribly amount, but like
Capped by 4 valves
that noise.
on the head. The S letter stands for section, as it was naturally aspirated only.
Yeah, so the Volvo's naming for their engine is, once again, the B is, how it is the engine codes are quite simple. The B, the first letter would stand for what type of fuel designation it is, whether it be benzene, gasoline, diesel, or you could also, they did do some natural gas motors. The second one would be the amount of cylinders. So the first numeric and the second digit is a cylinder amount. For me, 5 cylinders. So B5, and then the next 2 numbers is the amount of displacement in liters. So B5, 2.5 be the 2.5 liter, and then 4 would be the amount of valves there are per cylinder. So B5, 2.5, 4. Add the type of induction, whether it be turbocharged or S for suction, for natural aspirated, because they didn't have a supercharged engine at that time. They didn't go with their twin charge engines like they have nowadays. And then the last numeric or digit on that code would be which generation of that engine family it is. For the T5s we got, most of the T5s we got here with the P1 platforms in the West, for the 2.5 liters, they were the 7th gen.
The engine block and cylinder head were cast from aluminium.
Or 7th iteration.
Sleeves. All 32 valves were operated by seamless tappets via chain-driven camshafts. The intake ones.
And at this time too, a lot of Volvo engines were still using belts instead of chains, and they were still using typical cams with not even phasers. They were using just typical cam gears. They hadn't gone to phasers yet. These ones were phasers.
The exhaust cams used smaller chains turned from the intake cams. It was port injected only with 315 horsepower tops. Some sources also mention
Hey Shar, how are you doing?
Intake manifold.
I love it.
Besides the 60-degree angle, there are 2 things different compared to any other V8. A normal crossplane 8-banger fires every 90 degrees of crankshaft revolution, but this one required split crankpins to achieve a smooth run, and a balancing shaft to help even more. This shaft is also the Achilles heel of the engine, more specifically its bearing until a mid-2005 revision.
Yeah.
It could wear out, throw off the balancing shaft, also timing and result in a piston-to-valve contact. Because of that, it is advised not to wash the engine a wet way to prevent water from collecting in the shaft's valley. A later update.
No, see, I wouldn't know this.
A drain hole.
Good night, Charlemagne. I wouldn't know this because, unfortunately, I've not been able to own a V8 Volvo. I mean, these fucking engines are expensive. I'd love to buy one just to rebuild it, but these things are very expensive and they're rare, and I do not want to fuck it up. I want to preserve one of these things.
And a new type of bearing. Luckily, the S80 does not share this problem. A failing bearing will rattle, so keep your ears open.
Yep.
To fix it, at least one cylinder head needs to come off to allow for a bearing replacement, and if it's too late, the whole engine removal is required. Either way, it is not a cheap repair, and we advised if the bearing issue was already solved before an automobile purchase. Other than that, it is a pretty sound engine as far as reliability is concerned.
But what about the fun of it? And considering this is Yamaha, only 6,000 RPMs are pretty low, or red line for it. I mean, fucking Yamaha goes to like 8,000 to 9,000 on their high revving products. They love to go up there. for their automotive
Although
applications.
the V8 was demised as a Volvo engine in 2010, the Japanese found it a new use.
Oh, the
engine
Japanese.
was tilted longitudinally, belt-driven, with the small chains bathed in the sump, and placed into a boat. The piston diameter remained the same, and the stroke was increased by 16.5 millimeters. The airflow was reversed, with the intake outside and exhaust inside the V, helping with even smaller packaging. Furthermore, the compression ratio was decreased, reducing a high octane requirement, lowering the engine stress, providing circa the same power as the Volvo unit, 300 to 350 horsepower from a 5.3 liter.
Not terrible. Good for a cruising boat. There he goes. Makes a great noise, though. I will say that.
As time went by, a newer 5.6 liter received various improvements.
About 100 horsepower
the
more.
compression ratio was increased back again, up to 12.2 to 1. The reason was a direct injection, which, alongside a bore width increase of 2 millimeters, raised power up to 425 horsepower.
Beautiful.
Exhaust gases exit above a cavitation plate until 2500 RPM, after which they are routed through the propeller hub, allegedly maximizing the thrust. This 5.6 makes 542 Nm of torque already from 2000 RPM.
Jesus.
And it does not skip a beat until 6000 revs.
There she goes.
Yes, the Volvo V8 is an exceptional engine with various interesting features, and most importantly, an extraordinary and deep soundtrack. These cars were all-wheel drive as standard, so there is some potential for fun in them. Besides, this engine also found its way into a noble M600
Here we go. This is the beauty.
to twin turbos, and a V8
A Volvo engine in this.
using a 5-liter ITB.
And this is the one that was featured in the Australian supercar racing. Super V8 racing.
flat plane crankshaft engine as the cherry on the cake.
Absolute cinema. So we're going to go on a quick break, and I'll be right back after these messages, but I'm going to go on a quick break, okay? Hang on, we're back now. I'm live. And I'm going to pull this myself back up. Here we are. No. Wrong tab. There we go. Hello. I'm back. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. We are back. Oh, we got viewers on Kick? Hello, Kick viewers. How are we doing? How are you guys doing? Not sure we got rated at all. Someone's here, but hey, that'd be nice. Yeah, no, we're doing well. Just checking everything out, make sure we're okay. Notifications, nothing's changed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just checking my timeline right now, make sure we're okay before we get back to stream. Check my notes, check my everything. Well, yeah, no, I think we're having a good time. Let's keep this this gravy train running. Just actually hang on. Let's see if Kirsha's said anything recently. Let's see what Kirsha's doing. Alright. Back to war. We're going back on our car safari. We did a brief detour down to Australia. And now we're heading up back to Japan. We're heading up to Japan now. The land of the rising sun. And we are going to be watching this video from Japan. Now, typically people think of Japanese street racing. They think of the Togue, they think of the drift scene, maybe through Initial D. They might think of the Wangan of the Wangan Expressway, the Tokyo Expressway, because of Wangan Midnight. They might think of a million other different things through media. They might think of how Fast and Furious treated them, but there's a scene I wish to show you. In Osaka, there is a long-standing culture, due to Osaka's history with Hondas and assembly. They have a highway loop in their area. And it's called the Osaka Kanjo Loop. And the Kanjo have what's called the Kanjo Zoku. And they are the masters who run this route and modify tricked out Honda Civics, typically. And I do not want documentaries, I want videos. I want genuine dash cam footage. Here we go. Here we are. Welcome to Osaka. As you can see, they typically drive Civics. From the EK, EJ, EF, EP3s even. They go all the way up to about the 7th generation Civic. And they take them on the Kanjo Loop. It makes this highway express loop especially all the more advantageous for their cars as opposed to the big powered ones. Because since it's a narrow highway with a tight loop, it's basically like an actual track circuit they can make it out of. And with the tight turns in the corners, it really benefits the nimble, lightweight handling of the Civic over big powered, heavier cars. And he's just hustling that thing. You ever see a hustle like that? I haven't seen a hustle like that. See, this is what I live for. This is, as stupid as this is, outright, this is what I live for. The high revving 4-cylinder, and just barreling down a night city road. Unfortunately, traffic does make this a dangerous affair and quite a stupid affair, putting other lives at risk other than your own. If you end up killing yourself, that's fine. If you're killing everyone else, that's a problem. So I have to condone these actions. As cool as it is. It's driving a CRX too. It's a fucking CRX. I love this. It's a 2nd gen CRX. Absolutely hustling it. Absolutely. I gotta imagine their infrastructure over there in Osaka is pretty solid from what it looks like. The way it's just driving the highway, it doesn't seem like there's many abrasions in the highway. It seems like it's well taken care of. Good maintenance cycle on it too. Nothing but high art here. Nothing but just good old times. Dangerous, but still good old times. There we go, again. There's oh, that white EG hatch is just beautiful. I love. So my second favorite Honda hatch is the EG, followed up by but foremost is the EF. Personally, I just love the look of the EF, but the EG's got that really solid look to it. Oh, I love them so much. Oh, they're looking for a good dogfight. That's where the fun begins. Where the roads get choked up, and then we can have to dodge and weave. I personally don't like it, but yeah, you can tell with the Kanjizuku, this is what they really like to do. They like to cut and weave in and out of traffic like this. They love getting into a little dogfight, especially the more heavily dense and lit up areas of the Kanjo loop. I must say, that is very ethereal, flying down a city like an alley just down the middle of the city with skyscrapers all around you. You live in one of those apartments, you're probably hearing this every night. Just don't try to overheat your brakes. And that was a Silvio I think he just passed. And that's 14. believe that was a key. I want to say it was a. I don't think it was a K's arrow. I think it was a Q's Q arrow. And that's where he really gets the hustle going right now. And they meet up with another with another Civic right on the left there, coupe.
Oh, camera. Oh, okay.
Speed camera. Here they come. Nah, it's just a fit. See? Go for a dogfight. He takes the lead, he takes over now. Oh, this would be so much fun. If it wasn't such a danger to others, this would be so much fun to do. A little bit of dogfighting. I wonder what he has underneath the hood. I'm trying to listen to the sound, to the actual decibel, not the decibels, the actual sound of it, and I'm trying to wonder if it's a D or a B series. That's definitely not K. That sounds like an older Civic. It looks like it sounds like an older Honda Motors. It could either be a D16 Z6 or D15 Z6, or the ZC motor, or it could also be a B series that might have swapped into it. A B16 at that, probably.
Camera. Oh, fuck me.
Fun shit. Not as foul-mouthed as I am. Or you get the general gist of it. They drive Honda Civics on the Conjo loop, but what makes them more special though is that the Civics they drive. And I gotta see if there's a good video on the Civics to drive. Ah, here we are. You'll see the actual variety of the Civics. It's not just like, oh, a couple of them. Like, there's a bunch of these guys. And different generations of Civics. They were pissing out the cops. And now all these are Civics too. I think that one's a Mirage, because they'll bring up the competitors of the Civic, like the Mirage, right here to dogfight with them. Well, so that is an EK hatch. Yeah, they love to really get at him with this. So they're taunting them now. Yep, just good old delinquency. Just classic delinquency. I don't condone this. In fact, I condemn it, but ew. Not really. Yeah, I mean, have a good time. But yeah, that was the Kanjuzoku. I'm not fully representing them in full, but they are quite the. Oh, this is a ride on with the from Datsun Ron. This one's a ride on with the Kanjuzoku. Shorter video, but this could work. Ugh, we don't need this type of rap. Nah, we don't need the fucking edits. Oh, yeah, there we go. Classic E.G. Hatch action. What do you do without the music? That's a woman. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I forgot, also, the Kanjuzoku have a lot of women in the ranks, too, because it's a fucking Civic. Like, unfortunately, now they're more expensive than these older ones, but remember, there were so many of them built that even a lot of women got into this because that was the first car they had and they could afford to operate on a tune-up with. Look, Acura Legend. Getting ready to go on the offensive. And she's riding shotgun there. Overall, it's a good time. I can listen to sound of old Honda D and B series all day. Oh yeah, that was a good time. Moving on. We are going to move on to a different thing here. Before we leave Japan, we're going to go take a look at Volvos again. As I mentioned, I'll bring my favorite car of all time. And Volvo, at one point, was willing to make something that I believe is a piece of art in the modern day. The Volvo C30, which I've brought up on stream before, and I think we're gonna actually I'm gonna hold off on showing it tonight, some other time. What to do? I think maybe we can call it a night. Actually, I'm getting pretty beat down. Oh, you guys have a good night. You guys